Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Higgins here. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode, it's nearly here, the biggest not a real competition ever. It's the Club World Cup, and we're going to preview it right now. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I am joined in a virtual room filled with one lion. Well, I've got Ollie, and that to me is a win. It's a win on the Friday show on a Friday. But Berth and Chris, I did speak. I've spoken to Chris, and I said, we're doing the Club World Cup preview. The Club World Cup preview. Are you going to be on? And all I got...
It's not a real game.
So I was like, all right, then you could take the day off. You could take the day off. And I'm just devastated. Why does he do it to us? But Ollie, you're here on the Friday show. What are you looking forward to the weekend? What do you got planned?
You know me. There's not a lot going on. Let's be honest. And that's also not what the listeners are here for. They're not here to listen to my boring weekend. But I am here. I'm here to talk about the Club World Cup. Yes! Fascinating, definitely real competition that we're in. And call me the postman, because I always deliver.
We love it. We love the Club World Cup. Oh, no chance of an absolute quiet weekend for me. There is not. It's not happening. Because I'm off to the Good Food Show summer. It's my first time at the summer edition. After I loved the winter one last year. And look, I'm a big time baker. It's heaven for me. Food galore, endless free samples, a lot of cheese last time, especially for winter and cheese. I was like, well, I'm not turning down free cheese. A goodie bag full of surprises, and you get to, liaise and mingle with some brilliant chefs and bakers. And
what was the surprise? You were like, I was expecting a cupcake, and they've put a nail bomb in here.
What did I get last time? I got some rice. I remember I haven't eaten that rice.
That is quite a surprise. Yeah, that's fair. I would be surprised to get rice.
Declan in the bag. Hello. Yeah. Oh, then he scored a free kick on me.
Busquets
I love that so much. It's brilliant. Oh, what I do have though, is some games of the weekend, because tomorrow, Saturday, 5 p.m. GMT, Spain versus Romania in the under-21 Euros. Keep an eye on Jesus Rodriguez, the latest wonder kid linked with Chelsea, because obviously I've seen this is what happens. I saw he was linked to Villa today, and I got a little bit nervous. I was like, no, I want him. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know anything about him. What am I doing?
Doing what they want, Mikey.
I was so bought in. I was like, whoa, no, you're not.
Betis, doesn't he?
Yeah. Did he play in the Conference League final? Because I don't remember.
Lord knows, I probably not.
8 p.m. France, Georgia, also in the under-21 Euros. France are four favourites for every tournament. For the tournament, their youth talent usually turns out all right.
Don't sleep on Georgia though. They got some good talent these days.
That is true. Sunday, 1 a.m. It begins, the Club World Cup with Al Ahly versus Inter Messi FC. Oh, no, sorry, Inter Miami. What am I doing?
Where are Al Ahly from? Do we know where
Egypt?
Al Ahly from? Yeah, I think it might be Egypt.
Oh, I've said it now. I don't want to edit it. I'm sure it's Egypt. I'm sure they're the most successful club in Egypt.
I think
they
it's
are.
North Africa.
Ooh,
yeah.
Phew. And 8 p.m. PSG Atletico Madrid. That's the one to watch. Might be chaotic, might be boring. Maybe players will not give a shit. I don't know, but watch it. And it's on free on DAZN as well. So literally the whole competition is free on DAZN. In the UK, Channel 5. Channel 5. It's an important competition when it's Channel 5. Listeners, if you're...
The BBC and ITV saw it and went, nah, it's not basically, real
listeners, if you're thinking Channel 5, don't hear that often in that. No, not a major.
No, you do not.
Not a major UK. It's a big channel. It's not really where you'd see live sport.
Is it?
Mainly documentaries on air fryers, I feel.
I was going to say it's a bit like BBC Three. It's that kind of level. It's certainly not a top tier channel for me.
Shevva shoutouts. Apex from Nigeria here again. Since the last podcast, Maignan and Gittens didn't sign. Petrovic has been left out of the Club World Cup squad. Nkunku's included in the squad. Bettinelli's gone after 4 years. Kenji Pies won't be at the Club World Cup. What a time to be a Chelsea fan. Can't wait to hear what Chris has to say. Well, he's fucked up.
Well,
so...
he's not here. Yeah, and you know what? For this episode, it actually might be for the best on that one because it was good. I think it might get pretty ugly otherwise.
We will touch on those signings, or well, lack of, later on. Jamali Smith, only person who can pronounce my name correctly, and what you think of Marquinhos if we went in for him. Oh dear, was that me? Only person who can pronounce my name correctly. Me? If that was me, I'd be shocked.
Been you.
Jamali, yeah. Yamali.
Maybe. What do we think of Marquinhos if we went in for him? Decent player, probably good for the old experience, worthwhile for that. Probably a loan. Top player, played in the Champions League a lot.
To be fair, signing a centre-back from PSG didn't do us too much harm last time.
Exactly. Or, unless they're talking about the youth winger from Arsenal, which I hope not. But let's be honest, we'd be more likely to sign him, wouldn't we?
Well, L House 75 rounds it off with, I agree with Chris to an extent on Noni. Our wingers aren't great for us, and it's more so the system. It's more so the system. Noni and Neto are counter-attacking wingers. They don't suit this system. They'd be fantastic at Liverpool or Newcastle. We don't play that. The fact they've produced what they have is a testament to their quality. Look at Grealish, who was class at Villa. Put him into a possession side, he disappears. I love that last line so much. I do.
Yeah, but was Villa Grealish really a counter-attacking player? I don't feel like he was. Really.
He was a joy to watch.
He was a magician, wasn't he? He was like rather than like a driver, a defender. I suppose he was with his kind of dribbling style and stuff. But I don't know. I think of a counter-attack goal. I don't think of Grealish, being like sprinting up the pitch for it. But at least Villa Grealish anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't know though. I disagree with the idea that if you put our wingers in Liverpool that they're magically suddenly 20 goal a season wingers or whatever. I think there's definitely a ceiling for both of them on quality.
Okay. Jack Greer, I said it in the Discord. I was bought in. I'd be like, you know what? Cheap enough. I'd take him. But again, then I'm forgetting that we play possession football, so it doesn't work.
It's not 2020 anymore, Mikey.
Well, it won't work. It won't work. It won't work because we play possession. And what I want to see, we don't play that style. So we waste him again. And I just want to see him in a team being the maverick he is, because he's such a joy to watch. He really is. And people have forgot all that. And it's a shame. That's why...
Where do you think would be the best place for him to go? Back to Villa, probably.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
If you had to pick a club for Grealish, stylistically for style of play rather than sort of sentiment, maybe
Spurs. Spurs. No one's going Brentford. Not right now. Not right now.
Not with Frank going.
And Mburmo's looking at leaving. You have no idea. You have no idea. And Gurkha's and Huijsen. No, Huijsen was Bournemouth. But that's the thing.
Bournemouth, that's
right. Gurkha's was Bournemouth as well. Where am I going with this?
Bournemouth would be a good shout for Grealish. I reckon.
Could they afford him?
Yeah, probably not. But I think Iraola would do pretty well with him.
Right, on that. Time of the week, we're going to check out the news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Djordje Petrovic is asked to be left out of the Chelsea FIFA World Cup squad to focus on a move away. Trevor Chalobah is free to leave this summer should Chelsea receive what they deem to be an acceptable offer. Sources close to Benoit Badiashile refuse to rule out a move away. João Felix and Raheem Sterling are not part of Chelsea's World Cup squad and are free to leave the club. Chelsea supporters have voted Pedro Neto's dramatic winner against Fulham as the goal of the season for 24-25. Chelsea women have signed goalkeeper Livia Peng from Werder Bremen on a 4-year deal. Former Blue Melanie Loopholes has announced her retirement from football. Deals for Mike Maignan and Jamie Gittens both broke down on mini deadline day. And finally, I found myself down a little bit of a rabbit hole this week. A bit of a classic Barclays Premier League clips rabbit hole. And I do love watching it. 20 years ago, makes me feel ancient. However, I stumbled upon a bit of a gem, and it involves a former Blue as well. So it's
Ooh.
Andy Townsend, former Blue, if you don't know, listener. And he describes a prime Thierry Henry in what might be the most unique way imaginable. Now, I do have the clip, so here we go.
Sums them up, I think. Everything about them. Great ball from Canu. And there's Henry. He's like a laxative. He's straight through you, and you're absolutely powerless to do anything about it. And everyone's standing around going, what the hell was that?
I was not expecting that at all. That's brilliant. He's like a laxative straight through you. Wonderful.
I had to rewind it because I was like, there is no way I've just heard a player get described as a laxative.
Oh dear. As soon it's going to be like, he's like a hemorrhoid, that striker. He's a handful and he's a nightmare.
Honestly, the last time we had a laxative in our squad was Eden Hazard. He would just go right through every team. West Ham through them. Arsenal,
liquid footballer.
Liquid footballer. Oh, well, apart from that, we do have to go to the mini deadline day that was and that wasn't.
Do we have to? You can tell it's the fucking internet. Like, you can tell it's the transfer window.
It's the Club World Cup.
Honestly.
I've got some thoughts here on the Maignan and
thoughts away, Mikey.
Gittens deals breaking down.
Go on, host. Show us what you got.
I don't think it's that deep. I think what we saw here was Club World Cup tax, which is a thing, because it is. I mean, you look at the big picture. We didn't need either player right now. Like right now for a tournament, most people don't really set reminders for. You know, you can argue that the players might care. I'm not convinced the ones playing for the European teams will care as much, in my opinion. I've not seen a lot of excitement because it's not a disrespect to anything. It's the fact that there's too much football.
Oh, it's a little disrespect.
There's too much
you
football.
Know?
The Maignan thing. Yeah, the Maignan thing. I understand why we walked away. Look, I'm pretty convinced we'll go back in for him after this Club World Cup. When
Milan have no leverage, do they? You know,
no,
he wants to lose him on a free otherwise.
Yeah. And the market won't be as inflated by urgency, so to speak. And some fans I've seen, rightly so, they've called out we lowballed AC Milan. I would say that we treated them how they treated us, because Mike Maignan has 1 year left on his deal. He wants to leave. And we offered what was, from my point of view, more than fair. Because let's not forget, they bought Christian Pulisic off us for 20 million euros. Wow, that's a bargain. And he had more than 1 year on his deal. Loftus-Cheek for 18 million euros and Tomori for a bit higher, 35 million euros. Now, you could argue Tomori was fair value. However, was he? Because the age profile, the potential, the ceiling, and he was still decent for us.
Decent, at least 2 years on his deal as well.
I think the outrage needs to just calm down. And for those screaming, and I've seen it, just pay the money. No, all you're doing, if you do that, yeah, cool. I love the attitude. You know, let's just pay the money. Yeah, let's just pay the money. No, because if you do that, you're setting a precedent. Because the next time
everyone else, every next club is going to go, well, you paid for him.
Rightly so. If a club wants to sell us a player or we want to buy their player, they'll go, you paid Milan's asking price. Your turn. Do it again.
Yeah.
And your leverage is gone, because you cannot say, yeah, we walk away. Yeah, you did. You said that before and you paid. No, Chelsea were smart here. Whether you like it or not, we held our ground. And if Maignan wants to move, he's going to wait and come for free. I know that's not what we want. We want the shiny new toy right now. And I understand that. And I also understand the argument that we bought João Felix for the fee we did. That was a PSR move because of Conor Gallagher. Let's not paint
but
it
you know
as
what
anything
it's
else.
Like, when you make a mistake, right?
Keep doing it.
Yeah, like you shouldn't keep making the same mistake. It's like banging your thumb with a hammer and then banging it again because you did it before, you know. Like, and it just, for me, the Gittens and Maignan deals, you know, they could have happened and they could have worked out. Either of them definite ceiling raisers for us in terms of the squad. Maignan maybe, depends on what happens with Petrovic, and you know that I have a little bit more disdain for with how that's working out at the moment, but Gittens certainly not for the price they wanted. You know, so it's, for me, I don't mind us not having you know, like, remember, we've already got like a bunch of new players who are coming into the squad. You've got like Penders is in the squad, Asugo's in the squad, Santos is in the squad, whoever else that we've got is in the squad as well for the Club World Cup. So there's going to be a lot of these players. There's already going to be a lot of new integration, new signings, and more will come. The window's still long. We've got the rest of the summer really to get around to it. So I'm not worried yet. If we get to the end of the summer window and Rob Sanchez is still our number one goalie, and that's what's been said the whole time, and we're going into the season with him in net as our starting keeper, then I'm going to have an issue because seems a lot of opportunities for us as a club to have just done what I would consider the right call, and it was almost harder to make a mistake, harder to do the wrong thing. Realistically, how hard was it not to just have Petrovic go? I know he said that said he's ruled himself out or whatever. I'm not sure I believe that. It might be based on whether we're planning to sell him or not. All the other players who were planning to sell also didn't go. Paez as well. It would have been nice to see him and stuff. So it's just, it feels like a little bit, couple steps forward, a few more steps than that back. I just want us to, whatever happens, I think we just need to have a stable and solid, well-rounded squad by the time the season rolls in. So I'm not stressed about the Club World Cup personally.
Petrovic is an interesting one because from what we've read, he wants to be a guaranteed starter. That's something Chelsea simply won't offer. Won't. And we are.
Well, they offered it to Sanchez though, and that I can sympathise. I can sympathise with Petrovic's position on that because he came in and displaced him once before, performed well, was sent out on loan, performed well out on loan, and then he's come back and he's saying, "No, I want to be number one. I've proved after 2 years of service that I'm the best goalkeeper available at the club at the moment. Make me number one." And they've gone, "Well, we can't do that because we've got Ben Roberts who really likes Robert Sanchez, his son." And it's like, well, it's a decision that makes me feel like we don't have the well-being of the club's status in mind, and we're doing it more for the people working within the club at the moment. And I'm not sure that's the right call.
We're clearly in the market for a new number one this summer. That's quite obvious. Whether that's Maignan or someone else. So Petrovic wants to naturally move on, and it does make sense because you've got the 2026 World Cup that's coming up next year. Yeah. And he starts for Serbia right now, but that can change so fast if he's spending next season warming the bench. And I get the thinking, stay sharp, stay in the 11 for your country. I think the overreactions on social media were ridiculous as usual. Yeah. I mean, it's not deep. Look, the World Cup's going to shape a lot of decisions across the football world this summer. Petrovic, it's just one of them. If he moves on, no hard feelings. I wish him the best. He's a solid keeper. He did a job when we needed him. If a move gets him minutes and keeps him in that Serbia starting 11, I can't argue with that.
I don't mind selling Petrovic though, but we cannot go into the next season with Sanchez as number one.
I don't think we do.
It can't be him.
I don't think we do.
As long as it's not him, I'm fine with it.
One quick thing, I just saw it pop up on Twitter, and again, this will be incredibly ridiculous. I saw Nico Williams he spoke to Bayern, he spoke to Barcelona, and Ben Jacobs has just tweeted that Bilbao has started new contract talks. However, Nico Williams is open to reducing his salary demands to join Barca. Now, I've just looked at all the responses going, why aren't Chelsea on this? Read that again.
Spanish player,
again. Yeah, but Barcelona. It's not even that. Read that again. Open to reduce salary demands to join Barcelona. That doesn't say to leave Bilbao. That says to join Barcelona. I do not believe for a second he would come to beat Chelsea, Arsenal, City, whoever, and go, yeah, I'm going to reduce my salary demands. No, because he wants to play in Spain. He clearly has a love for Barcelona. We need to stop this. We have this weird approach that we think that players are going to do the exact same. It's not going to work.
Mental. Yeah.
And last time we pulled a player from a club and overspent, and they didn't really want to come because they had other ideas in mind, really worked out well when we spent £97.5 million. That's what I'm saying. So that's the end of that. That's the end of the news.
Well, no, actually, I got one more. Because speaking of big lumbering strikers, actually, lumbering might not be quite the fair word for him. I don't know if you've seen, we're linked with that, what's his name? Walter Maeder.
Oh, yeah.
Say it. 6'6", big striker who's apparently got a very, very nice and delicate touch on him. I don't know
for a big man.
For a big man, but also for a little man, I hear. I think he's apparently just pretty good at dribbling in general. I don't know what you think. I'm a bit surprised that we'd be going for another bigger sort of physical striker when we've already got Delap in the bag. And the other thing is I wasn't. I don't, stats don't tell everything, of course, but he doesn't, he's not as good in the air as Ekitike. How are you 6'6" and you don't win as many aerials?
Because he's cheaper.
Maybe, I guess so. Because he's, what is he? He's 23, he's still playing for what? Werder Bremen, is it?
That's quite old for our usual targets.
Yeah, I think he was 23, 22, something like that. Still plays for Werder Bremen. Surely, yeah, really unique looking player, but I don't know. Feels a bit like the budget option for me.
Well, I'm not going to judge this too soon on him because I'll be honest, until the links came out today, I didn't know a lot about him. I'm not going to sit here and waffle and say, yeah.
No, Mikey, you must have an opinion.
I must have an opinion. I think he might be the biggest scoop of the summer window. I think if we miss out on this player, we will kick ourselves for the next 15 years. He is going to be in discussions with Haaland, Mbappe, no doubt whatsoever. No doubt
Mikey,
whatsoever.
He is the best 6'6" striker from Werder Bremen I've ever seen.
I'm convinced. I didn't know anything about him till you just told me everything, and I'm already sold. Why are we not bidding for him right now? What are we doing?
100 million. Look, we were willing to pay what Milan wanted.
Yeah, we were indeed. We were indeed. Right, we will move to the Club World Cup stage kicking off this Sunday. Woo! We are so excited. Look, it's a huge preview episode of Chelsea's three opponents: LAFC, Flamengo, and Espérance de Tunis. So even though that's technically not their full names, there's people call them ES Tunis. There's loads. Proper name is Espérance Sportive de Tunis.
Can we just call them Tunis? Is that
we could do, but that's not also their name. It's ES. We can't just choose a new name for them.
I know, but it's a lot, isn't it? Even for a Wi-Fi password, that would be
two letters. ES Tunis. I think you can manage.
Well, I don't know.
Look, I've broken it down into sections where each will include a bit of a club background, any previous meetings. There's none. There's no competitive meetings.
Really?
We've never played
ES Tunis before.
We haven't.
Word.
Some key players, some fun facts. Let's get you excited for the biggest club competition in the world. It's going to be bigger in 2 years' time when they expand it to 48 teams. Wow. So we will go to LAFC. That's an acronym for Los Angeles Football Club. They are based in the United States of America. They are one of the MLS's youngest, yet quite most exciting franchises. They were founded in 2014. They began playing in 2018. They've quickly become one of the league's top sides, winning the Supporters' Shield in 2019 and 2022 and the MLS Cup in 2022. Their blend of attacking football, strong recruitment and Hollywood branding make them a fascinating opponent. How do they qualify, you ask? FIFA World Cup playing. 2-1 win over Club America after Club Leon were kicked out. And it's also the first time I've heard of a play-in instead of a playoff. That's the game gone. A play-in. A play-in. A playoff. It's a fucking playoff. Right. This first time we've ever. I'm just ditching this line. I've put previous meetings with Chelsea. It's none. It's none for everybody. But key players to watch: Dennis Buanga. He's Gabonese forward. He scored 80 goals and registered 35 assists in 127 games.
That's pretty good for that league.
Not bad.
I guess
it's not bad.
Yeah.
He's quite versatile. He led the MLS in goals in 23. He's got pace. He's got power. He's deadly finisher. Might be
a bit of a sleeper pick then. Like if he's done all right in the MLS, John Duran did well in the MLS, didn't he?
That is true. Timothy Tillman, midfield engine. He's got European pedigree. He had Bundesliga experience when he was at Greuther Fürth and Bayern's youth team. Aaron Long, he's a US men's national team veteran centre half. And of course, Olivier Giroud, former Blue, hasn't really got going for LAFC yet, but I'd thought a phrase. Hugo Lloris is there as well, but the Spurs players. Interesting.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that they've got some players with some European pedigree because I was going to say that when you said European pedigree, I thought, what, do they have a German Shepherd as the club mascot?
Some interesting facts about them. They're owned in part by some stars of sport and screen: Will Ferrell, Magic Johnson, and Mia Hamm. They have a Falcon program, which includes 3 Falcons who participate in game day and community events. They're named after the famous streets in LA. You've got Ollie, not you, Fig and Mel, which is for Elvira Street, Figueroa Street, and Melrose Avenue. So there you go. And they're go on.
I was going to say Miaham is my favorite celebrity, third favorite celebrity named after a kind of meat. First is Kevin Bacon, second is Shia LaBeouf.
Their attacking play is influenced by Spanish style possession mixed with high energy pressing. They love playing attacking football with pace out wide. So, do you think that suits us, or do you think it could catch us off guard?
I think if anyone's going to hurt us, is Giroud, isn't it? Because he's the big man.
He hasn't been great for him.
No, but he's the veteran, isn't he? Like, he knows how to drag his club through games, through tournaments. Like, and he's that kind of striker that our centre backs and defenders don't really like. Sort of big, willing to roll you, good, in terms of his positioning, fox in the box, that kind of thing. So, I think even though he's old, you should never. What do they say? It's youth and exuberance is no match for old age and treachery. So be wary of Giroud's old age and treachery, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the first game, and I don't know. I like LAFC.
You want to predict?
I like
predict a
them.
Scoreline, Mikey, for each one, maybe. See what we think.
It's so weird because I really don't know how everyone's going to take each game.
But Mikey, you
really
were so good
know.
in the prediction.
I was really
episode.
Great.
I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1.
2-0.
First game. I think it'll be uninspiring 2-1.
Right, we move to Flamengo, Brazil. One
They
of
all
South
play on one
America's...
leg.
They are one of South America's
There's only 2 of us, all right?
That is true. One of South America's most iconic clubs. Flamengo are based in Rio de Janeiro, and they have won 3 Copa Libertadores titles, including a recent one in 2022. They're coached by former Blue Felipe Luis. They will bring attacking flair. They're known for producing elite talents like Zico and Vini Jr. They currently sit top of the Brazilian Serie A after 11 games played. I am sure they have recently played, and I have not checked that. I'm pretty sure they did play a 12th game. No, it was postponed. I move on. How do they qualify? Well, they won the 2022 Libertadores. Yeah. I also have one of their shirts in my drawer. It's Lucas Paquetá when he was there. Players to watch. This is where I get scared because one of the names I have to pronounce and I didn't Google it. We've got Pedro, not that one. He's got technical qualities, finishing, control, positioning. He's 27. He's recorded 94 goals over the past 3 seasons, despite a knee injury he suffered last year. You've got Jorginho, another former Blue. Chelsea will face in this group stage. He's a bit of an underrated gem, isn't he, from our Champions League triumph? I think everyone sort of forgot about that. And he helped us qualify for this not a real competition. So got to thank him.
Isn't that weird? With two teams in. We've got Giroud, Felipe Luis, and Jorginho.
You are going to be blown away when I tell you that former Blue Raheem Sterling now plays for Espérance de Tunis. Right,
his level. That's his level.
Oh, okay. This player's very good. That's why I need to get his name right. Djordje Petrovic. He's Uruguay.
You to say.
I've never got that right. Djordje.
No, I have no idea, mate.
He's a good player. Like, honestly, he's always in the Uruguay squad when they go to the World Cup. Come on, help me out. How to pronounce website?
Djordje de Arrasqueta.
Not even close, I was.
No.
Not Derrasquita. Well, he's got over 300 games on his belt for Flamengo. He's an attacking mid. He's still a top player. He's still in hot form. 9 goals in 9 games with 4 assists on top of that. Watch him. He's a talent. Watch him. He's over 30, but that's not the point. Watch him. He's a good player. Interesting facts for you. Flamengo have over 40 million supporters, making it one of the most supported clubs globally. Flamengo's first mascot was actually Popeye the Sailor Man, the comic book and cartoon character from the 40s. And their last World Cup appearance in 2019 saw them lose 1-0 to Liverpool in extra time in the final. They are, in my opinion, the biggest threat in this group. They've got a former Blue in charge, a former Blue in midfield. Our history against Brazil teams in this competition reads 1 win, which was against Palmeiras, and 1 defeat against Corinthians. What's your confidence level into this particular game?
There's a little bit of bad blood between Chelsea and Flamengo. It got heated on social media when we found out that we were going to be playing them. Their fan base, they're a very, very passionate fan base. Of course, it's Brazilian football; they all are. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's about, for us, it's probably keeping up the pace. I think if we can keep up the pace and take them seriously, I think we should roll them over pretty easily. But at the same time, they are no slouches, and Felipe Luis seems like a pretty strong coach, especially for one so young, really. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you would expect us to win all of the games handedly, but I think if anyone was going to give us a lot of trouble, it will be them. And I'm going to say 1-0 Chelsea.
I absolutely love Flamengo. I've got their kit for a reason. Favorite colours red and black. Look, I'm this game. I have some sort of excitement for. Like, I actually will. I mean, I'll watch them all, but I'll watch this properly. Like, I want to watch this game. And you're right, Felipe Luis is he's achieved a fair amount already. I mean, he won the 2024 Copa Rio under-17s with Flamengo under-17s. He won the under-20 Intercontinental Cup with the under-20 Flamengo team. He has won 3 trophies already with Flamengo's main team, the Copa de Brazil, Super Copa de Brazil, and the Campeonato Carioca? Carioca? Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. So he's looking, he's looking like a pretty tidy manager for the future. I think this will be a draw. I think 1-1, because I think Flamengo I think they'll blunt us. And we move to Espérance Sportive de Tunis.
Titans of African football.
Tunisia's, they are actually a very good team in Tunisia. Now, yes. I'm not sure about you, listener, but coming into this competition, Espérance Sportive de Tunis were the team I knew the least about. I really did.
Really? You don't follow them, Mikey? You don't have their shirt as well?
I won't lie. If someone had said to me, gun to the head, name a team from Tunisia, I would have been fucked. I would have said?
EST.
Yeah, would you have? Oh, that's good. Good for you, mate. Good for you. They are known as EST or ESD, ES Tunis for short. And EST, I think, is literally how I refer to them, so I don't butcher any pronunciation on repeat, because I have a habit of that. They are the most successful club in Tunisia. They have 34 league titles and 4 CAF Champions League trophies. They are known for their tactical discipline and strong defensive structure. They regularly dominate African club competitions. And how did they qualify? It was through the CAF ranking pathway. Of course, we have never met them in any format or any competition. Key players to watch. I have 2. I've got Jan Sass, who's a midfielder, and left winger Yusuf no, I've done it again. Belaili. Yeah. Sorry. Yusuf and Jan.
To be fair, mate, it's hard, isn't it? Like, it's a
so
new
hard.
Competition, it's new teams, it's new players, it's all sorts of stuff. Nobody's talking about, we're playing like a Leipzig or an Aston Villa or a Juventus. These well-known clubs that people know how to pronounce. So, fair play to you, mate. You're doing the best you can.
They're in terrific form, them two are. They're both having 13 goal contributions this season. Some interesting facts for you. They were founded in 1919. They're over a century old, of course, one of the oldest clubs on the continent. Their home stadium, the Hamadi Agrebi Stadium, has a capacity of 65,000. That's more than Stamford Bridge. What?
That is.
That's mad. They've won back-to-back Champions League titles in 2018 and 2019. And if you're still struggling to work out how good EST are, this is interesting. They are ranked 101st in the World Football Club rankings. That's above Wolfsburg, Real Sociedad, my FC Copenhagen, Bodo Glimt, and Sevilla. That is quite something. I know the ranking points.
They're ranked higher than Sevilla. That's crazy.
Sevilla are not the team we all think they are from the Europa League domination. They suck. So how they don't get relegated, I don't know. They're a well organised team. This lot are, and they're going to be tough to break down. One. Do you think we have this is going to be a low block? Do you think we have enough creativity? I know people are going to go, yeah, no. Low block teams always make us weak at the knees.
I agree, but I actually don't think that's the biggest issue. I think the biggest issue for us in that game specifically is about giving them enough respect. Because they're a team that basically nobody's outside of Africa has heard of, really. And so the immediate thing you might think is that they're sort of slouches and we're going to just run all over them. But you got to remember, a lot of African teams are very, very, very well drilled and they're very fit as well because they're running in the heat all the time. So it's really important to remember that these guys are not going to be quite as easy as you think. As a lot of us fans think. I think we'll still comfortably have too much for them, as I do with all of the teams in our group. But it's key for the players themselves not to have that sort of not to make that sort of presumptive judgment too early either. You play the game for 20 minutes. If you're 3-0 up, take your foot off the gas. That's fine. But if after 20 minutes or whatever, we're struggling, they're outrunning us, they want it more, they've got the desire, they're pinning us back, they're well organised, they're stopping us getting through it all. Then we've still got to have to find another gear to go up again. So it's really important for the players to keep hold of that. I think, though, all things being equal, I think we should, if we do take it seriously, I don't see us losing that game. I think we'll win 4-0.
That's the thing. It's the respect factor. And they're going to be they know what they're coming into. They want to, it's a free hit because no one's expecting them to do.
It'd be one of the biggest games in their history, won't it? So they're all going to be well up for it as well. Probably not with Flamengo. Their fans are a bit different. LAFC is kind of similar. It's probably one of the bigger games in their history as well. But certainly for ES Tunis, it's probably going to be the biggest game their football club has ever played. Certainly against European opposition, I would have thought.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So they're going to be well up for it. Their fans are going to be well up for it. And if they catch us on the wrong day, they could do some damage. So it's important. I think the thing you got to remember is that nobody at the Club World Cup is a bad team because everyone's had to get there apart from Inter Miami. Everyone's had to get there on their own merit. Do you know what I mean? So everyone has earned
Auckland FC, not the one in the A League, which is very good team. This is the other Auckland team, who are obviously in the Club World Cup. And I'm sure I read that Auckland FC have, let me find them. They've got a capacity of 3,500. I'm sure they were non-league. They were lower than a team called, I know, I've seen a local team play them, Brackley Town. That in itself is, I think it was said that the players might have to have annual leave to actually attend the competition.
Yeah, but again, they've all earned it to be there. That's the thing, so it's a bit. It's not like the Champions League in that sense. It's the very top of the top, best of the best. But people are there on merit, and I'm thinking of it a bit more like an FA Cup. The upsets, the upsets will be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's going to be some big games against some big opposition. Someone is going to fall somewhere. Let's not be the giant that does that.
So, what are the headlines or the TLDR on our group? Well, we have no previous history of any of our group stage opponents. We are the favourites to top the group, but each side, of course, bringing their own different style. We've got LAFC with their high energy flair and fast breaking, Flamengo with their pure Brazilian swagger, with maybe some Chelsea DNA in the mix, of course, and EST, compact, resilient, and probably tricky to break down. So, I will say this. How important do you think that this Club World Cup is for Chelsea's momentum going into next season?
I think it doesn't matter at all, to be totally honest with you. Only because I think I know people have gone on non-stop about this season thing, but I really think the players don't see it that way, and I don't think the manager does either, despite what he might say to the media. I think it's more that we just want to be doing as well as we can in as many competitions as we can, and this is a big one that has, big in terms of size and number of teams, rather than in stature. But it's there's a lot of money on the line for the club, so the higher ups will want to take it quite seriously. But I can't see the players and the manager taking it the same level of seriously, at least not for me. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but we'll see. It's I don't know. I just feel like it's not going to impact it as much. It feels more to me like a pre-season tournament, and that's fine. And that will actually kind of get us where we want to go. It's a good time to assess some of the talent we have in the squad in match sharp conditions as well. So it'll feel like the players will actually get themselves up to speed that aren't. Maybe some of the ones that have been doing too much can rest, at least in the group stages. So I think if anything, it hopefully will provide a good break. Not as good a break as actually an actual break would be, but
nice.
if anything, I think this competition, as long as we don't push our players too hard, will actually benefit us for next season.
Okay.
Because I think people will, especially the likes of Santos, Asugo, that kind of ilk, they'll integrate quicker from that. So, I guess we'll see.
Well, we're not going to do a big predictions thing for it. We'll do a quick prediction. Why don't we predict the whole fucking thing? So plus it helps us to see where our route to the final. When I
think we play PSG in the round.
Of 16. We're fucked. So Group A, you've got Palmeiras, Porto, Al Ahly, and Inter Miami. Who I'm convinced Palmeiras topped that group.
Wait, hang on. Who was in that one again?
Porto, Al Ahly, and Inter Miami.
Porto, Al Ahly, Inter Miami, Palmeiras.
It's
Palmeiras. Yeah, it's going to be. It is.
Palmeiras and Porto. I'm convinced.
They got Esteval, haven't they?
They have. Ballon d'Or winner. Next group, PSG, Atletico, Botafogo, Seattle Sounders. That's Seattle winning the whole thing. Oh, no,
I mean, you'd be silly not to put the smart money on the Champions League winners, wouldn't you?
And then Atletico. I think that group finishes literally how it was drawn.
Yeah.
Next, Bayern.
Unfortunately, I think. Listen, all right. Do you think Seattle will score a goal?
Yes, I think we'll score one. I think Botafogo is our best chance.
But if you don't score against Botafogo, I think you're in for a long
I've watched
tournament.
us recently, and I will tell you, listeners, we do not. We played a Vancouver team that got hit with diarrhea, and somehow we lost. I think it was 5-0.
Like Thierry Henry.
Like a laxative. Like a laxative, they went right through us, and they had laxatives. It was absolutely madness when I watched. But 3-0. We lost 3-0, but we were down to 9 men. So read into that as you will, but it's still not acceptable. Anyway, Group C: Bayern, Auckland, Boca, Benfica.
I want Boca to go through.
I would love that.
I think it'll be Bayern and Boca.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not. I would love that.
It could be Benfica, but I don't think they're. I don't know. I feel like I think Boca are a much better team than people give credit for.
Yeah, well, they got half the Man United squad. They got Romero. They got Cavani.
Yeah.
We'll stick with Boca. Group D. Well, let's just put us top and Flamengo second. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think the only potential upset is if LAFC do something. I can't see ES getting a point, to be honest. But if they do, work well into them.
Group E: Inter, River, Urawa Red Diamonds, and Monterrey. Inter and River.
Yeah, it's got to be, surely. You would expect, Champions League finalists, and then a team like River Plate are a very good team.
Group F: Fluminense, Dortmund, Ulsan, and Mamelodi Sundowns.
It's going to be
Fluminense and Dortmund. But
I was going to say the first two. I couldn't remember. Dortmund and Fluminense. Yeah.
Group G: City, Wydad AC, Al Ain, and Juventus. Probably City and Juve.
Surely, right? I know it sounds harsh every time it's a European team to come up to be like, like they're definitely going to go through. But outside of some massive upset, probably.
Group H: Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Pachuca, and Salzburg. It's Madrid and Hilal.
It's not. You don't think Madrid and Salzburg?
No. I
could see Al Hilal getting through. They've spent a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. Right, continue. That would leave a knockout stage of Palmeiras versus Atletico.
That's Atletico all day.
I agree. Bayern, Flamengo.
Bayern, easy.
Inter, Fluminense.
I want to say Fluminense, but it won't be. It's going to be Inter, isn't it?
City versus Hilal.
Oh, yeah. God, who knows?
PSG, Porto, PSG. Chelsea, Boca.
That'd be such a good game.
That would be insane. I will love that.
That's the biggest upset potential. I think it will still be us, though.
Yeah.
On balance.
Dortmund versus River Plate. I would say River Plate.
I'm going River Plate. Yeah.
Man,
I want. Why not?
And then Real Madrid, Juventus.
It's got to be Madrid, surely.
Now it gets spicy. It's
a Champions League group with
Atletico. With River Plate. Atletico, Bayern.
Ooh, that's not easy.
No.
What do you think? What's your gut tell you?
Atletico.
We'll go with them.
They can bastard you up. I don't know what that means, but they can really
bastard you up. I like that. That's a new phrase.
Yeah, that's gonna be a sound drop. That Inter versus Man City.
Ooh, Champions
Do
League
Inter have
finalists
a
and
pro-
City not as good. I'm tempted to say Inter on that one. If they're not still suffering the hangover of losing
let's
the
for
Champions League
banter.
final
Yeah.
in emphatic fashion.
PSG, Chelsea. PSG. I'm sorry, but PSG are the best team in Europe right now.
Yeah. Although we
being
could
honest.
bastard them, Mikey.
We could. River Plate, Real Madrid.
Now they can bastard a team.
Real Madrid.
It's got to be, isn't it?
And then you've got a semi-stage of Atletico, Inter, and PSG, Real Madrid. That looks quite fun. But it's the Champions League.
Real Madrid.
This
is just a Champions League semi-final at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's. Do you say it was PSG, Real Madrid was on one of those? I think Real Madrid. I think Mbappe will get it. Mbappe will get his revenge.
Okay. I would pick PSG. Atletico, Inter. I'd go Atletico. So it would be an Atletico PSG final for me.
Oh no, I'm going Atletico. I'm going for a Madrid derby final.
And
then
Atletico have got to be owed one. They're owed one.
I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm going to go Real Madrid to win the whole thing. I know it's boring because they always win everything, but you know what? It's football heritage. It's a brand new tournament, and people. That's one thing I want to say. People say, "Oh, it's the new Club World Cup. It's like a new format of an old tournament." It's not. It's just a new tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a brand new.
They
tournament.
changed the name of the Club World Cup that we won to something else.
So
it's called now.
It's going to be a brand new tournament. So it's just heritage for Real Madrid to win the first one.
Right. Before we dive into Quaresma's questions, we are going to trial a brand new segment that Ollie has no idea about because it's straight from our end of season survey. It's courtesy of the listeners, of course. It's a mini quiz all about our upcoming opponents. And because everything in life is better in threes, goals, points, chocolate digestives, we've kept it to 3 quickfire questions. And I'm calling it Blue versus Who. So let's just see how well you know the opposition. So 2 players have played for both LAFC and Chelsea. That's Olivier Giroud is the one. Who is the other?
Ooh.
He was an eternal loney. Lone Army know him well. So don't.
Was it Higuain?
No, he played for Inter Miami.
I'll
give it. I don't think he's a goalkeeper.
Oh God. Lone Army knows him well. Jamal Blackman?
Yes.
Yeah,
he's in the MLS now. I'm sure that was a great shout. I didn't think you'd get it. I really didn't think
he is the Lone Army goal.
He's 31. How is he old? I felt like he was 20 forever. He played for LAFC. Yeah, of course he. Why did I just say that? He's played in the MLS. Of course he has. That's the question.
Give me. Can you quickly run me through his career path? I'd love to hear.
Yes, of course I would love to. It's Chelsea, Middlesbrough on loan. These are all loans. Middlesbrough, Östersund, Wickham, Sheffield United, Leeds, Vitesse, Bristol Rovers, Rotherham. And then he moves to LAFC, Huddersfield Town, Exeter City, Burton Albion. And now he's at Shrewsbury Town. Oh, my word. What a career.
Good for him.
Fair play. Can't argue with him.
Do you know what? If you asked a footballer at the start of their career, you can have a successful career. This is it. I think half of them would take it.
Yeah, I mean, he goes from Rotherham to LA, then back to Huddersfield. It's like such a random
cultural
place
whiplash,
to live.
Isn't it?
Oh, my word. LAFC have won the Supporters' Shield and the MLS Cup in 2022, back to back. Well, they won it in the same season because that's just how the MLS works. But which 2 former Premier League stars were their captain and vice captain that season?
Ooh.
Wasn't Jamal Blackman. He was not their captain.
Hang on, so we want LAFC captain and vice captain for what, 2022, did you say?
2022.
Oh, I really don't know.
I would argue don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. I'm overthinking it. I don't know, Thierry Henry.
No, they are fucking hell. He retired ages.
I don't know.
Right, there are the biggest rivals in London to Chelsea. These 2 teams are.
Okay, so it's Arsenal and Spurs.
It's an Arsenal and a Spurs player.
Playing for LAFC.
How do you not? He scored the goal in the damn final.
I didn't watch the damn final.
The other one is their top scorer, and I think he's just retired. I think.
Giroud, I guess. Was he? No, he wasn't there.
I will tell you their nationalities, and then you'll get it. Welsh and Mexican.
Aaron Ramsey.
No. Oh my word. Gareth Bale.
Oh, of course, Gareth Bale.
And Arsenal's Mexican. That one of the only Mexican players I can ever think of when it comes to Arsenal.
Arsenal Mexican player. I'm losing my mind right now.
Sociedad, former Sociedad winger.
No, it's not coming to me.
Damn it, Carlos Vela.
Yeah, fair enough.
And finally, March 4th, 2018, LAFC played its first MLS game, and it was a 1-0 win against which team? Don't think too hard on it.
LA Galaxy?
Now, No, it wasn't. I was going to say, why would I have picked
You
this?
said don't think too hard.
Why would I have picked this question?
Seattle.
Yeah. I watched that game as well. Oh, I thought easy win. Wasn't. We'll keep trying to do that preview, by the way, listeners.
Yeah, like
game.
that.
I am so screwed when I've got to do EST. How am I going to do that?
It's gonna be. You're gonna know so many random facts about so many random teams in time.
Mikey from the future here. We both forgot Lion of the Week predictions, didn't we? So clearly not a real competition. Ollie chose Enzo Fernandez, and I'm going to go with goal of the season winner, Pedro Neto. And the wheel chose Romeo Lavia. Oh my God. I've got Quaresma's questions, and it's a bloody good one. It's a bloody good question. And it is. I've got it on my phone. You know I'm slow. My philosophy, tease this on the Discord I did. Join it, listener. It's worth it. With the costs of the base Nike kit being at an all-time high, what brand would you like to see next?
Oh, that is a good question. Personally, I would like to see Jordan. That's my just because we haven't done it before. We've had Adidas in the past. I know some people like New Balance. Some people like Kappa, I think it is. They make kits as well, don't they? But I don't know if you saw Aston Villa's kit from, was it them?
Luke.
It was a total disaster. So for me it would be Jordan, because I think that's a pretty cool sporting, like, prestigious brand. I think that's what I'd go with.
I would love the return of Adidas. I would. It made me think, though, when I started reading this, because it made me think about, it's a bit of a swindle, because I looked at, obviously going back in time through the kits of Chelsea and stuff. In 2019, our home kit would have set you back $59.99. So that's pretty steep for what is
in 2015. Did you say?
2019?
2019. What's that adjusted for inflation?
I have no idea.
Have a look. I'll do it. Hang on.
But it's already pretty steep for what is a polyester billboard that you'd wear for one season. And then it's retro because it's obsolete, isn't it? We've moved to the next one. And looking at today, the club shop will pretty much fleece you £85 for the same shirt. That, to me, isn't just inflation. That's just taking the piss. Because at that price, you're not just pricing out kids. You're also alienating adults, because they've got their own bills to pay. You know, cost of living. That's realistic. We've got to address that. And before anyone does chirp in, because they will, and they're likely to do it, buy a fake. Yeah, that is the only logical response. Because why pay £85 when a £15 knockoff from alternative retailers, let's say, is near identical? It's near identical.
Yeah.
And
you can't tell. No one can tell.
No, and this isn't common. This is corporate greed. And this sounds like, oh, Mike's getting on his soapbox, but it is. This is, clubs act shocked when fans turn to knockoffs, bootlegs, and yet they've turned kits themselves into luxury items. They have the lifespan of a mayfly, one season. I mean, that never used.
Yeah.
Chris and I love Brentford, because Brentford, people should learn from them. Clubs should learn from them, because they are the only English club with a shred of football kit decency in my eyes, because they cycle kits every 2 years, which is effectively halving the cost to £30 a season.
Do you know what they
one of the
should
cheaper
do?
Shirts.
They would never ever do this. No club would ever do this, but they should have a fan vote at the end of the season whether to keep it.
Yeah,
and if
they
it's
would
bad,
never do it.
if it's bad, that most teams will want it changed, and they'll change it to something. And if it becomes like an iconic kit, people keep it for a few years. Then.
I am such.
By the way, sorry, just checking. So £59.99 in 2019 prices is about £76 today. So it's about £10 overpriced.
I look at the MLS, and I always bang the drum for the MLS. They do it on a 2-year cycle. So you get a new kit every season. You do, but it's either the home or the away. And it's just better value.
I do like that.
It's better value. And like I said, when you keep arguing and going, oh, why are they buying fakes? they're there because people cannot. They're not doing it because they prefer it. They're doing it because they cannot afford 85. That's a luxury.
It's the same. I'm just realizing the thing I said about the kits earlier that was a disaster was Castor, not Kappa. It's the same. It's the same thing around the streaming, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're offering people a product, but you're pricing people out so much that they're forced to find other alternatives that are cheaper. And if you made it cheaper, people would rather not. People would rather have the actual product. That people have always said, especially around like piracy, and this is kind of the same with sort of like fakes and knockoffs and stuff. All you have to do is offer a better product for a cheaper alternative that's a reasonable price, and it will kill any illicit market overnight for this stuff. It will, because people would rather have the real thing, and they'll rather pay a little bit more because it makes them feel better about having a real, authentic thing. Some people won't care. You'll always get a few little people doing that one way or the other for something. But most people would rather have the real thing. So make it a reasonable price, for fuck's sake.
NFL, I love that sport. And I've noticed that in America and sort of as well, it's sort of in the UK as well with how it's working with streaming. If you want to watch every single game next season, you'll have to have up to 9 streaming services. That's obviously, you've got your local broadcast station, which is different in America because obviously local broadcasts, the games. But you've got Netflix, Amazon Prime, Peacock, YouTube, ESPN, YouTube TV with NFL Plus, Paramount Plus, and Fox One. You're taking the piss. You are taking the piss, and then you will hear it. Oh yeah, they're using illegal streams. That's because they're priced out. And you could argue again that, well, why is everyone watching every game? Okay, but I flip it. Some teams that are picked, say, I don't know for certain. Let's just say the Chiefs. I know there's a couple of teams where if you wanted to watch every game of your team, you have to be subscribed to all those services. That's not fair. That's a lot of money. And it's not fair. Like you said, look at Spotify. Spotify, essentially, it didn't fully kill music piracy. That's not realistic. Nothing's ever fully over. But it pretty much brought it down to almost the lower levels because, like I said, well, like you said, Spotify, bang, all the music one place. YouTube Music, all the music one place. That's my soapbox moment, really. One other final question. Blue is the colour pod. They always get their advertisements in. Will Christopher Nkunku and Felix still be at Chelsea still come opening week of the season? I think that is so dependent on wages.
The question, the answer is if they are, there's been a mistake happening somewhere on our part, on their part. Something's gone wrong because neither of them have a future here. And they must know that, and we know that. So everything has to be done on our side and their side for the rest of the summer to make sure that they leave the club amicably, not amicably. It doesn't matter. Just get them gone.
Yes,
Can you?
I think the market for Nkunku is better than Felix.
I've heard multiple people. Well, not heard because I read it, but I read multiple people on Twitter X, whatever you want to call it nowadays, that people are still saying, "Oh, we could give Nkunku a chance at the Club World Cup. We could give Felix a chance. Why aren't they going?" And I'm like, "Why do you think they're not going?" Like, it's absolutely baffling to me that either of them would be entertained as options for us for the future in any tournament, let alone this one. For me, neither of them can play another minute for Chelsea, and if they do, it'll be a disaster on everyone's account.
You're not wrong. Listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Before you go, proud to remind you as always, that our partnership with Head in the Game, mental health charity using football, sport, wellbeing, and the community. Check them out at headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well, because we will be back on Tuesday with our winners and losers from Chelsea and LAFC in the biggest club competition in the world, with the best trophy in the world.
It is the best trophy, to be fair. It's a really cool trophy.
It's fine.
It looks like a school science project. It's cool.
Yeah. Imagine it's just a volcano. Just the winner. Oh my God. Whoever wins go on.
It's like a scientific model of a solar system,
All I've got in my head now is whoever the captain is of the winning team has to put a Mentos into the little trophy, and it splurts out all the code.
I hear the president himself is going to give you an A+ sticker to the captain of the team.
Oh, well, listeners, that's it. So until next time, that is us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.